Hey, lockdown's over. Do you want to go for a ride Outback? Oh yeah? Grab your gear. Let's go. G'day and welcome to another Mongrel Dog production, and welcome to Well 5 on the Canning Stock Route. This trip, Desert Road 2021, is all about like-minded fools sitting around a fire and talking about their experiences. I'm looking forward to this. Grab your gear, let's go. Well, this is the morning of day one. Pardon me. I'm meeting another couple of blokes here locally, and we'll head off once we've had some breakfast and a cup of coffee. It's about 1,300 kilometres to our destination, which is Well 5 on the Canning Stock Route. We're planning on taking about 2.5 days to get there. It'll be all bush camping from here for the next few days. After Desert Raid, Chris and I will probably continue on for a few days. No need to race back to Perth. It's dry this morning, thankfully. We've had a lot of rain here in Perth this winter, the wettest winter for 26 years, so it could impact on some of the roads and tracks that we're going to take. We're not taking the most direct route, we'll take a lot of the back roads and gravel roads, so that's where the adventure's at. So yeah, meet a couple of blokes here and we'll get underway. It looks like Chris is here on his 1600. Obviously going to escort us out, make sure we get away safely. Okay, we're coming up to the end of our first day. We're just taking a side track just to look for a bush camp for tonight. Doesn't have to be anything special. There's only 3 bikes, so we don't need much room. What we really need is a good supply of firewood because it's cold. We've got a clear sky at the moment, so it's going to be a cold night, very cold. So yeah, we'd like a big fire, I think. Well, not a good start. End of day one, when we pulled up, there was a message on my phone and it told us that the fuel facility at Sandstone is on the Fritz. That's about 200 kilometres east of us, so not quite sure what we're going to do. We may have to backtrack 50 kilometres in the morning, top up, and then head to Sandstone in the hope that we've got enough fuel to actually get us all the way to Wiluna, which is about 500 k's from here, I think. So yeah, not a good start, but I guess that's why they call it adventure riding. It's the morning of day 2. We find ourselves in a bit of a pickle. Where we were headed for, Sandstone, the bows is on the Fritz there, it's on the blink. So we can't refuel there, and Chris and I, we both have long-range tanks fitted, but we didn't refuel at Paynes Fine because we thought we had the range. So we now find ourselves having to return to Paynes Fine, about 60 kilometres to get back there, refuel, fill up both Chris and I got fuel bladders as well, so we'll stick a few litres in the bladders, and that will get us to Wiluna. With a full tank we've got a range of about 600 kilometres. So yeah, we'll lose a little bit of time today, but we've got heaps of daylight. It shouldn't impact too much. Anthony, on the other hand, he's going to make his way towards Sandstone. He thinks he's got enough fuel to get to Wiluna. So we'll catch up with him later on this morning. And I guess that's part of the appeal with adventure riding. You're in complete control until you leave home, and after that all the best laid plans turn to muck. But that's okay. Okay. Alright, we're just entering the small community of Sandstone. This is the place where there's currently no fuel available. May be fixed later today, they say. Anyway, I'll try and help join the dots a little bit about Desert Raid. Desert Raid is an event held every other year, every second year. Somebody picks a spot on the map here in Western Australia, and blokes meet at that point. Usually it's on a Saturday evening, have a couple of drinks around a fire, and then they head back to wherever they've come from. There's a couple of criteria. One is it's got to be remote, no infrastructure or services available, and it's got to involve a couple of 100 kilometres of unsealed road getting there. In this case it's at well 5 on the Canning Stock route, and that certainly ticks all those boxes. There's the Bowser. Let's go and see what it says. Oh, there's a tank, there's a Bowser bloke. Maybe it's fixed. There's nothing to indicate that it's on the fritz, so maybe it's working. See if I can get this guy's attention. Is it fixed? Alright, we are at Wiluna. We've had to top up with our fuel and fill our bladders. We won't be back here now for 48 hours. It's about a 500 kilometre round trip. We'll just get far enough out of town and find a bush camp, and then have a late start in the morning. We've got 250 kilometres to get to well 5, but it's a fairly good road for most of it. If we get there by noon, that'll be plenty of time. So yeah, leisurely start in the morning, I think. we're approaching the turn off to Granite Peak Station. There's a number of ways, number of directions you can approach Well 5 from the south, from the east, from the west. We're coming from the east, but you've got to go through private station country, Granite Peak Station. You pay a fee for the privilege of using their roads, and that's okay. I think that sort of money goes towards maintenance of the track. So yeah, go down here, and I think we've got to go past the homestead. Simply drive through the homestead itself. Alright, we're approaching the homestead now, so try and find out what the process is. As I said before, we're approaching from the east. You can approach it from 4 different directions, including from the north normally, but because of COVID, that part of the stock route is now closed because it goes through native title land, and they don't allow anybody from Well 5 northwards. There's a sign there that says stop. I think this is where we pay our fee. Oh, there she comes. Hello. $15 each, is that right?
That's correct, yeah. That's correct.
Thank you very much.
There's one.
Have there been a few bikes through?
Yeah, about 10. Yeah.
There'll be a few bikes coming out here tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Or are they going down to Wiluna?
Just going to Well 5.
I think some were going down to Wiluna. They said on the way through this morning.
Oh, they're going down.
Yeah, back to Wiluna.
Yeah, some will come out this way. Alright, about 50 kilometres, she tells us, to Well 5. The track should be reasonably okay, although she did warn us of a couple of sandy spots. So we'll just take it easy. Looks like a bit of sand here, although it's pretty minor. Stand up, lean back, constant throttle. Looks like some blokes have made a meal of it. Bit more sand, a little bit longer by the look of it, a little bit deeper. Usually you're just a passenger, you're not in control. You just got to let the bike do its thing. It'll find its own way. Last thing you want to try and do is steer it. That's just asking for trouble. Oh, why would people be pulling up here? Some blokes binned it. You blokes alright? Yeah?
I'll see you up there.
Who's come to grief here?
Sorry, mate.
Who's come to grief here? Who's this bloke? Neil? Alright, everybody's okay, bud?
Yeah, everybody's alright.
Well, welcome to Well 5. Other than a restored bore, which is there, and the water quality is pretty good. It certainly keep you alive. Not great, but it's good. But yeah, other than that, there's not much out here. This place is going to look like a gypsy camp later on today. But yeah, once again, welcome to Well 5.
You know, as we come to the end of this phase of our life, we find ourselves trying to remember the good times and trying to forget the bad times. And we find ourselves thinking about the future. You start to worry, thinking, what am I going to do? Where am I going to be in 10 years? But I say to you, hey, look at me. Please, don't worry so much. Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky when the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day. Make make your life spectacular. I know I did.
Well, it's the morning after, the night before. Blokes are starting to pack up, suit up and head home, wherever that is. From here you can either head east, west or south, depending on how hard you want to make it for yourself. We had 60 riders attend Desert Raid 2021, which I think is a good number considering the restrictions with COVID and travel, and considering the location. We're in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. So yeah, and listening to some of the stories around the campfire last night, yeah, some blokes certainly made it an adventure just getting here. There is one bloke at well 3 who's stranded there with a busted ankle. He's organised his own recovery for both him and the bike. From here, Chris and I will extend our journey going back to Perth. We're in no hurry, so yeah, we'll take a few days, yeah, taking the long way back. Alright, let's do this. I've got to be honest, I'm a bit hungover. You get that sometimes. Anyway, yeah, 54 kilometres from well 5 back to the homestead. Pay our $15 and then yeah, start making our way back to Wiluna for fuel and top up with some water, and then decide from there which way we're going to yeah, get back to Perth. Alright, just re-entering Wiluna. All of us are going to have to refuel here. From there, Anthony will head straight towards Perth. Chris and I will continue our adventure. We'll initially head west towards Meekatharra and then take it from there, I guess. Well, this is the morning of day 7. Chris and I are packing up, about to head back to Perth. Terrific bush campsite here last night, surrounded by wildflowers and bird song. It's like camping in a botanical garden. It's very nice. Yeah, from here, as I said, Chris and I will make our way back to Perth. We'll both be home this evening. For us, it's been a fairly seamless journey. Not so for everybody. There was another rider, Shane, who crashed heading south on the stock route out of Desert Raid. He ended up in hospital with a fractured T5 vertebrae and also a fractured leg. He was medevaced out by chopper the following day after the incident. He's still in hospital at the moment up in Port Hedland. So yeah, anyway, this is the last day, as I said, and you know what that means. See you on the other side. Oh, happy snapper, this one's for you, buddy.
Thank you.